What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Philip Michael. Welcome to Ask Philip, a.k.a. Slidin in the DMs, a.k.a. the DM Zone, where I basically answer your DMs about anything from money, life, relationships, and anything in between. So let's get to it. All right, there's quite a few moving parts here. The good news is you already have, the conundrum you're faced with is the best one that you can be faced with because you already have the most critical things that you need. Number one, you have a good job, a good salary, which means you can get pre-approved for a great deal of money. The banks will give you money. That's number one. Number two, you already have a property. Number three, you're a veteran, so you have access to loan programs that nobody else does. They have the VA program, which will give you, this may have been how you bought your first one, but to your question about what kind of construction loan did you need to get, I assume you're asking a bunch of different questions. You would need a construction loan. You can do that for your existing property, or you can do it for a new property that you acquire. Either way, you have the cash and the bank's backing, presumably, to go out and do that. What I would recommend, or what I would do in your position, is that I would probably refinance the existing property. Because let's say you used a VA loan. I'm not sure. I assume that you did. Let's say you refinance where the bank will give you, like I said, the 203K loan. It's the FHA program. You have to have 3.5% of the whatever the value is with the construction price, right? So let's say you rehab that one, you put that on there, you stay living there, and then you refinance and take out the equity. You can use that equity as a down payment towards your next, like a piece of land. And then the bank will come back again because you have, let's say, the equity you took out from property number one comes out to a 20% down payment. They will come up with the rest of the money, 80%. So this is how you actually, I call it wealth hacking, where you leverage your assets in the good position that you're in by being a veteran, have access to good loan programs. Number two, you live in your properties, you have access to the FHA. Number three, you make over $100,000 a year, which can get you pre-approved for a decent amount of money. So you just have everything going for you. So what I would do is just look into the 203K loan for the first property, see if you can fix that up, increase the value, and get a higher appraisal, then refinance and do it all over again. So that's what I would do. All in all, you're in a perfect position. You're in the best position. Please keep me posted how it goes. How am I planning to create 100,000 millionaires? Well, there's a lot that goes into it. When I first made that goal, I thought about, wow, what the hell am I thinking? Because I started doing the numbers. 100,000 times a million came out to 100 billion. So I thought to myself, oh my God, it's a lot of money. But then I looked at it. I saw that Amazon over the past 5-6 years, or what have you, I may be getting the numbers off somewhat, but it's close enough to where it's by and large true. But 500, 600 billion in the past 5 to 10 years, if they could do that, I mean, come on. Why can't we do this? That's number one. Number two, the number one driver behind the wealth gap is the fact that people of color there's not a culture of ownership. In fact, that's the main driver behind it, why black wealth is projected to drop to 0 by 2053, why black families on average have 5% of the wealth of white families. And here's another stat to keep in mind. 90% of millionaires are made from owning real estate. So once you look at that disconnect, the main thing is to get people started with owning property. That's number one. So what I do with that is two things. I just create and generate awareness as much as I can every single day. We do it with Bold TV. We talk about ways that, not just with real estate, but you can start a business. You can hear from people who are actually doing it, making it relatable. Then I put out stuff on Instagram every single day. Then I actually built a portfolio pretty much by myself. It was just our team, self-funded, went out and built it, and then allowed people to own a piece of that. So what we want to do is we've since launched an app where you can actually download it and you can own a piece of $500 million worth of real estate, for $100. And what that does is I don't suggest that with $100 that's going to turn into $1 million. But what it will do is, and this is what people will realize, is almost like money is almost like a virus that wants to find a habitat where it can mutate. Money likes to stay away from habitats where it cannot thrive, where it will die. It will stay away from. That's just how it operates. So when people start becoming business owners or investors or both, you start thinking about money differently. You start, instead of thinking, oh, I got my tax returns, how can I deplete these funds to zero and go back to living month to month? Sadly, that's how most people operate. Instead, you start thinking about, okay, let me take aside $500 and go out for dinner, and let me invest the rest so I can grow it to $10,000, then $25,000 to $100,000. And by making this bold goal over a period of, no pun intended, 10 years, think about this. If you save up and you invest and you buy a property with 3.5% down and you start investing, let's say 20% of your salary every single month, over a 10-year period, becoming a millionaire isn't a probability. It's not even a likelihood. It becomes an inevitability. So that is how I plan to do it. Number one, giving people access. Number two, raising awareness. And number three, just have a community where it's okay to where it's normalized talking about these things, where it's okay to do these things, and to help push people in that direction. So it's just part of an everyday lifestyle, creating 100,000 millionaires. But it's not just going to come from $100 investment. It's just like being healthy. It's the application of repetition and discipline and doing it over and over and over. Before you know it, you can have $1 million. It happens much faster than you think once you really get started. So that's how we do it. How do you become a millionaire? Okay, I'm going to make this short and sweet because I just answered this. Partially. You do that by, number one, you set a goal. One of the best ways to become a millionaire is through real estate ownership. So we have plenty of people. We have this community called The Tribe. And one started with an FHA, 3.5% down, bought a property in Boston in a low-income neighborhood, got Section 8 tenants in there, bought it for $475. It appraised at $900,000. That's almost $500,000 in value created right there. He's halfway there with one deal. Then his second deal, he did the exact same thing. Two deals. He's a millionaire now. Just like that. Just like that. And there's nothing. It's not like he's got 5 legs and 7 arms and 4 eyes and just has some sort of special ability. It's just, okay, I go in here, I bought a property with 3 apartments in it. I live in one while I rent the other 2 out from Section 8, which is guaranteed money. Those 2 cover my mortgage. Therefore, I live for free, which allows me to save up more money to go buy another property. Do the exact same thing inside 2-3 years. That's where your net worth could realistically be. Now, there's a great scenario, and those economics aren't necessarily the same all over the country, but what I am trying to offer to you is that once you do that and once you start consistently putting aside money every single month, think about this for a second. The stock market as a whole, this is just one way, real estate, but the stock market as a whole over the past 140 years has compounded by 9-10%. Before you go, 10% is nothing. Well, think about this. With a 10% return, you double your money in 7 years. Go do the math. $1,000 with a 10% return is $1,100. Then a 10% return on $1,100, and so on and so forth. It's called compound interest. So it actually goes a lot faster than you think. Before you know it, you have $10,000. What I did for myself was I wanted to get to $10,000. Then I wanted to do the first property, the FHA setup, 3 apartments. From there, that one shot to north of $1 million in value, and then it just starts to spiral from there. And if you keep your expenses consistent, and you don't go crazy when you get these wins, and you just keep reinvesting, it's gonna go extremely fast. And before you know it, you have a lot of them. So that's how you do it. Just invest every single month. You put it into S&P 500 index funds, steady returns, 9-10% over the past 140 years. So even when the stock market dips, you just buy more because it will eventually recover. It always has, and it always goes up. And plus, we're in an inflation, a high risk at inflation. I don't even know how to say it the right way, in the way that I want to, but there's more money being pumped into the economy. Prices are going up. That's inflation. When inflation goes up, so does the value of the stocks that are out there. That's why you have the largest economic crisis we've had in a long time, yet the stock market is higher than it's ever been. Come on now. So you got to start investing. Do that every single month from your paycheck. Try and buy a property. Before you know it, boom, you're there. And that's it. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? That's all from me. Thank you guys for sending in the questions, and thank you so much for watching Bold Business. As usual, if you want to get your DMs answered, we'll do it right here on camera. Make sure you slide into the DMs at Bold TV everywhere, or YFWTB on Instagram. Until next time, peace out.